Hello and welcome to Koyunbaba movement number 4 part. We're going to be diving into this awesome section and checking out all of the slurs and left hand hacks that you need to get this up and running. Let's dive straight into Koyunbaba movement number 4 by Carlo Domeniconi. Welcome to micro study number 1. Now straight off the bat I'm going to tell you this is all about slurs. Everything is about slurs, but it's not slurring in the traditional sense where you pull down, because you are going to have to make sure that the slurs are not too loud. You don't want that open string being the dominant sound, you want this. So it's going to take a little bit of left hand fine control to really get that. Across pretty much all 4 fingers of the left hand. So that is the first tip here. Second tip, obviously right hand, you are looking at M, P, I, P. We're back to triplets, so once you put the pull-offs in, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. That is what you're aiming for. Triplets, making sure your right hand fine control again is all about the melody. Not. Thumb needs to come down, so you're going to have to be very, very aware of it. Right, let's dive straight into where you're putting your fingers and what we're doing across the strings. Welcome to this fantastic last movement. We're going to dive straight in with the left hand. Do your left hand first and then put your right hand in. So it's all thirds, or third shapes as we know them. And we're starting at 3rd fret with the 1st finger, 5th fret with the 3rd finger. You're then going to shift up to 5, same deal, 1 and 3. Now you're going to shift into 7 with 2nd finger at 8, then onto 7, and then at 8 again with 2, 1, 2, 1. Back to 5 because we'll repeat. Shift. You're then going to shift back down to 5, down to 3, down to 2 with 1 and 2. And then we're into the next micro study. So practice this as a separate little micro study first before you get all complicated with slurs. So from a slur point of view, it is M, B, I, P. The main hack here is you're not doing a traditional classical guitar slur with a pull down. You are literally pulling off. So that lets the open B and G strings just ring enough to hear but not overpower. That is too loud. That is going to require a lot of left hand awareness and left hand fine control. And again, make sure your fingers don't fly off the fretboards. Okay, so putting the two together, it sounds like this. To the next micro study. So we have a change in right hand pattern and a change in musical idea. It's still pull-offs, except this time we're going to move up your G string all the way here to the B flat at 15 and then back down again. Key to this is knowing which notes you're playing with. So again, I would suggest finding them first with the left hand. There is a repeat bar. I suggest you finger 3, 1, 3, 1, and then shift up on your second finger as written in the score. 2, 2, 2. And from this point, so 3, 1 is obviously 3 and 5. Then it's 5, 7, 8, 10, 12, 13, 15, back down. 13, 12, 10, 8, 7, 5, 3, 2, 2. And then it shifts back up to 5, 3, 5, 3. And I suggest again you go back to third finger, first finger, third finger, first finger. After that point, we have a switch in rhythm and a switch in pull-off, so it's really cool, actually, and it's going to need a little bit of practice to get that up and running. Right hand. So the right hand is going to be doing M, hammer on, I on the same string, pull off, P. So it's still M and I, but it's M, I, M, pull off, P. I, M, I, pull off, P. Because of the triplets, it doesn't matter which finger you start, whether you start with an I or an M, it will alternate every time, every set of 6. So it's a 6-note idea. And again, pulling up, try not to pull down, try not to pluck down too much and make your pull-offs loud. Let's put this all together. The next idea. Top tip, and I get sick of saying it, but it's really relevant here. Laser ahead. So as soon as you're here with the second finger, your I should be here. I hear, I hear, I hear, I hear, I hear, I, and so forth and so on. And just really make sure that your hand moves into your eye line. Laser ahead. Okay, the next micro study is a very short one. We're going to be focusing on a couple of beats here because it's actually really integral to getting the next pattern up and running. There is a switch in right hand patterns here, and we're moving into something a little bit more complex. So what I suggest you do is you practice this very slowly. We have hammer on, to get into that pattern. So it is literally I or M, it doesn't matter. P, I, hammer on, P, to get into the next pattern. So I would just practice this switch between these two bars. In fact, I did practice the switch in between these two bars endlessly until I got it. Just like that, until I could get that second pattern integrated, and we'll have a look at the second pattern in a second, and then I would move it out so that I could and then start moving it a little bit each way away from that point, back into the last right hand pattern and back into the next right hand pattern. Hi, quick interruption. I hope you're enjoying this. If you are, consider hitting the like button and maybe even subscribing to the channel. There is a ton of new content coming your way, including Villalobos, Dien's, and Brouwers. If you want to get ahead on the action, consider hitting the like button and jumping in on this channel. Welcome to the next micro study. The melody switches on to string 4, and let's just go straight through it. Fret 3, 5, 7, 8, 10, 12. Now, it's not an E flat, it is going to be 14, 15, 14, 12, 10, 8, 7, 5, 3, 2, and then we're switching out to back to. So that is the left hand. From a right hand point of view, hopefully you've practiced it already, but if you haven't, you're looking at 1, 2, 3, PI, 1, 2, 3, PM, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1. So it's just PI, PM. 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, with that offbeat hammer on and pull off. And obviously key here, lasering ahead, and right hand full control. You literally do not want to do this. Make sure that those two open strings are really low in the mix, and this is where the melody is. So this time you can let free rein on your thumb. Here we go, all the way up and down. Top tip here, obviously, I don't know if you noticed. Look at where my hand is. My fingertip is pointing straight in because I have to clear. That G string still has to ring out, so make sure that you're right into 90-degree angle into the fretboard and hammering, and I am levering off that thumb to get that. Really, really top tip there. Welcome to section C. Now, before we hit section C, there is a little point of signposting here. In the score, you have a D kappa AB poi C, which means back to the start, do A and B sections again, then move on to C. So there is a repeat there, a D kappa, really, really important. You don't just go straight from this pattern back into C. You go back into the beginning. And then do all that again. To C. Okay, section C, starting at 3 and 5 with fingers 1 and 3. Here's the variation, 3 twice. Then you shift up into familiar territory. 5 and 7 with 1 and 3 again. Up to 8 with 2. 7, 8. Back to 5. 8, and here we go, heralding a change. Third finger at 9. There's nothing difficult here, just be aware of the slight variations on the end. This is going to take us to a high octave E in the next section. Here it is. This has been brought to you by classicalguitarrocks.com. There is a ton of new content coming your way on the channel, so if you really want to get ahead and get some six-string inspiration in your life today, there is a link below to this channel and a link probably to any guides available.